Hello, everyone. It is a pleasure to have you here in the first episode of ValeTalks, powered by Valetax. Thank you all for joining. Today, we're going to have a very special episode. We're going to talk and chat regarding our history on the trading industry. This episode is all about how it all started, our journey into trading. This will be a podcast series by us, the Valetax educators, and for this first episode, I'm going to be your host. My name is Alfredo, and it is a pleasure to have all of you here with us. First of all, the purpose of this series is to educate and inspire, in some sense, all of our traders and clients here in Valetax, to give them valuable information so they can improve in their trading career and develop as professional traders. For the future episodes, we were going to talk about different topics. The first episode we will be hosting is how artificial intelligence is affecting the trading industry from an institutional standpoint. It is going to be real interesting. We're going to have Rion and Manesh and myself with that episode. And we're going to follow up with a bunch of episodes really interesting for all traders. Today's topic's focus, as we mentioned, is our history and our journey as traders here in the trading and forex industry. We're going to talk about how we entered the trading industry, first of all, our experiences, losses, wins, emotional challenges we have faced, among other really interesting topics that every trader should hear. First of all, introducing our guests, we have first Manesh Patel. Maybe Manesh, if you want to give a small introduction of yourself, please go ahead.
Hi everyone. This is Manesh Patel, professional trader, been trading close to 30 years now. Next June will be my 30-year anniversary. As a retail trader, started off as a telecom engineer. Um, Worked since 1996 as a telecom engineer to 2007. At that point, I went to start to manage money in Wall Street, left in 2010, managed my own money, and then pretty much been helping retail traders become professional traders. Have a lot of fun, enjoy trading, and I love it. It's my passion and hobby. Short and simple.
Thank you very much, Manesh. Manesh is a great guy, great trader. He's an eminence that we have here with us for this podcast. Then, a good friend of mine, please, Ryan, Innocent, could you give a small introduction of yourself?
Hi everyone. My name is Rion, Innocent Ifere, popularly known as Ryan. I am a senior market analyst at Valetax. I started trading about 6 years ago, and ever since then, it's been a beautiful journey, engaging with the markets and also helping retail traders coming up to learn about the markets, via psychology and sentiment. Most importantly, psychology, because I realized that that was one of my biggest problem while starting trading. And so far, so good. It has been a wonderful experience for me.
Then, our head of education, Sifu Kaza, could you please give us an introduction of yourself, Mr. Kaza?
Hi everyone, and a very good night from me in Malaysia. I'm the global head of education in Valetax. I started trading actually in 2014. So this is my 11 years in trading. I have a background in economic. I have a doctorate in business administration, major in economic. It's just I don't like people to call me doctor, so I put a name. Sifu in Malaysia, in English we call it master. So people understand me as Sifu Kaza. So my main background is in economics. So in trading, my focus to educate people here in Malaysia to understand more toward economic movement and understanding about fundamentals behind the economic and how to trade easily using economic and of course using the technical side of trading. So yeah, that's my background, Alfredo. Thank you.
Thank you, Kaza. Thank you very much. We also, as you can see, a bunch of guys with a ton of experience in the trading industry. A real privilege to hear their stories, their background, and how they started in this beautiful journey. Lastly, myself, your host for this episode, my name is Alfredo. I have been trading and been on the industry for the last 6 years and a little bit more. I am from Mexico specifically. I am currently pursuing, almost done with master's degree in stock markets and financial markets trading by the European Institute of Entrepreneurial Studies. And well, it is a pleasure to have all of you. Hope you enjoyed this episode. We're going to talk, as we previously mentioned, talk about how each of us entered into the world of trading, growth, mistakes, mindset, advice to our younger selves, and lastly, of course, live Q&A session for all of you viewers. Going into our first segments, the segment one, the beginning. How we first entered into the world of trading. Early experiences, first experiences with wins and losses, moments that tested our discipline, and what shaped us as traders. We can go ahead and discuss. Who would like to start?
Let give the mic to the senior first.
Perfect. Please, Manesh.
I'm the youngest trader here, as everyone said. Since I call me senior. So what was the question? I guess the first question is that we're gonna
It
answer?
was, for example, I have heard your story and I believe it is really interesting. So maybe how was your first introduction to financial markets, Manesh, if you can give the public.
So my first introduction to financial markets, believe it or not, was when I was 14 years old.
Okay.
It's crazy. I never knew what I was going to become, but that was the first mark, first sign for me. I didn't have money, so I was 14 years old. I was washing cars. And this one guy always sat there and paid me top dollar every week to wash his car. And one day I asked him, it's like, okay, why, how can you keep on paying me this top money? So he took me into this place, showed me a chart, and I saw a chart. And from that point on, I really didn't know what I was seeing, but it got imprinted. When I went to university, I was working full time and going to university. My friends were not working, and it's because their parents had uh, money from the markets. So that pretty much scarred another sign for me. So, but as an engineer, my parents, of course, in Indian culture, they always tell you that, hey, you got to be an engineer or doctor. So I went down the engineering path. Really was not my style or my passion, but pretty much I went down that path. But when I graduated in '96, uh, I went full steam into stock markets. Um, my first experience, I don't know if you could call it lucky or not. I rode the internet boom up. So young kid, didn't have money, uh, started trading. No matter what you touched, you did great. I mean, give you an example. I bought Red Hat at 16, sold at 300. So you can't lose. And then with an engineering background and programming background, I thought I was king. And I grew account up to seven-figure number, everything. And then internet bubble busted. I lost it all, had a margin call. I bought a house and all these things. I had to sell everything pennies in the dollar. So I went into debt. So it was my bad experience there. And that was my first experience in really a big loss. You know, as Ryan mentioned, psychology of trading is a huge factor. It was huge because, two things, losing and greed kick in. And those are the two things I had, especially as a young trader getting into the markets as a retail trader. I was about to give up like most people, especially when you lose a seven-figure number. Luckily, my father convinced me not to. He says, if you give up on that, you're going to give up on a lot of things in life. And, that was huge for me. Otherwise, honestly, I wouldn't be here today. Um, my parents never accepted me being a trader because in Indian culture, trading is gambling. But for him to tell me that, I moved forward. But, so from there, I had to reinvent myself and everything. And losing is something I had to accept. A lot of people can't accept that. It could be due to life experiences or whatever, but in order for me to become from a retail to a professional trader, I
Yeah.
had to accept losses. And
Yeah,
that's the hardest journey I think everyone has is learning how to accept the loss. And it's a probability game at the end of the day. As long as your losses are small, you're fine moving forward. So,
True.
that was my first step on first experience is losing and
yeah,
losing it all, blowing out your account. I think all of us traders will say here, I don't think you're going to become a real trader until you at least blow out your account
totally,
once, uh,
totally.
because that you got to take that hit, go through it, and say, okay, you know what, I'm going to survive this, come back, reinvent myself, and stuff like that. And a lot of us go through a couple of times blowing out their accounts because we just do dumb mistakes.
Yeah,
Made a lot of mistakes in my journey, admit it. But I didn't give up. I'm still here. I enjoy what I do. It's financial freedom, where I could pretty much control my life and do whatever I want. But learning how to take a loss is the biggest thing first, I think.
yeah. Yeah, I totally
Very.
agree, and I actually feel a lot of similarities with that, with what you have said, Manesh. I believe that it is very dangerous when you start into the trading world to have good luck and make money in the first few months or the first even year. It is extremely dangerous because it gives you this like sense of confidence and I am invincible and the markets, like I'm the best trader. It happened to me as well. I was very lucky at I when I started trading, my first year was extremely good, but my risk management was garbage. I was risking maybe like 7% per trade, something stupid. And yeah, I made a lot of percentage during that first year. I grow also like similar case, not to the seven figures, of course, but from like a $1,000 account, I went to like a $50,000 account in 1 year. And then I lost like $30,000 out of those 50 because evidently at some point my account was going to blow up with that risk management, right? And I also remember the first time I told my mom, here in Mexico, Catholicism is a main religion. My family and my mom is very Catholic. And when I went
Oh,
to her, the first time I was starting to get into interested in the investments and trading world,
Yeah.
it was because of a history class where we saw the 1929 stock market crash. I got really interested in stock markets, decided to investigate a bit, and then I came to my mom asking her to help me with maybe some funds to buy a course for investments and trading. And it was like I told her that I was gonna be homeless. I don't know, that I was gonna run off. She reacted so bad when I told her that I wanted to know more about the financial markets, to the stock market. She became crazy all of a sudden and was like, "Hey, no, that's gambling. People lose all their money, people lose houses, people lose
Yeah.
everything because of that. You're not going to get into that." So yeah, I also resonate, and I also believe that we have something similar in terms of culture in that sense, because here in Mexico, less than 1% of people invest their money in the stock market. For
I
example, you
think
have
the
the northern countries in Europe like Norway, Denmark. It is around 50 to 60% the people that invest in stock market. Here in Mexico, it is less than 1%. So there's like this huge idea that financial markets and the stock market is gambling and it is a
Yeah.
secure path to lose all your money. So
I
yeah,
I
think the
think.
hardest I think the
yeah,
I
hardest
think.
is to get family to accept you trading.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the challenge in life, I
It,
think.
yeah,
it's very challenging because I think at the end of the day, human culture is all built around, either religion, culture, tradition, and there's always one person in every family that probably has had an experience with the financial market that didn't go well. So either they know a relative, they know a friend. Like I personally, the first time I heard about the financial market was in 2012, and I had an uncle then that was, more into like the marketing side of things, and he would, they would do like seminars for forex traders and all of these things. But I didn't really see as much effect as how I was expecting to see it, not until 2017, 2018, when I was in school. I was in high institution then, and I saw people trading, and I heard someone once said, "Oh, he just made $500." And in my head, I'm like, we're all spending the naira. We're Nigerians, so how are you making these dollars? You're not a politician. You're not a banker. How are you getting dollars? And then he then showed me his charts. I think that was the first time I saw the charts for forex trading. Clearly, I have seen the charts before, but this was the first time I was seeing it like up close and was so interested in it. But I would say everybody has their similar story, just like Manesh. You get lucky, you lose money, you go into a depressed state. Then you start to understand that what you thought was knowledge was just luck at its best. And it was more or less like the market conditions when you finally went into the market favored you. I personally became profitable in 2020, right after the COVID crash. The market was trending. I was swamping in profits, making money. Then I started to take money from people to actually trade for them. So I started like an investment fund. And the moment the market conditions went from bullish to consolidation, that was the beginning of my chaos. And then I started to lose money, and then I started to panic, started to, and all of those things happened. So at the end of the day, everybody comes to that point in trading where you have to get your first, I think I call it a reality check in trading. It's your first reality check. And for me, I would say one of the reasons why I started trading was I was in school then. And I would say it's kind of like a boy becoming a man thing to want to fend for yourself, not having to depend on parents or guardians or anything. So I intentionally wanted to do things for myself. I mean, I had past relationships, call me broke, and I was tired of being broke. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to put in the effort to this thing and actually see what comes out of it. And that was how I started. It wasn't easy at first, but over time, I realized that it was something that you just couldn't give up on, and you needed to stick to it. And here I am today. I don't think I panic when I see the market. I think I've literally seen 99 of the market. It's just 1%. So what's left? You know. So how about you, Kaza? How was it
Yeah,
like for you?
my journey is uh, not so rough, I guess, because when I started in 2014, I'm still in college to take my diploma. So my
Yeah,
diploma is in psychology, and I've been passionate about trading since school actually. But
yeah,
my goal is not to become a trader actually. My goal is to become a businessman. So that's
yeah,
why since I graduated, I do a lot of business actually. But I started have a passionate in economic in 2015, I guess, after
yeah,
graduated. And when I learn economic, I see a trend that if you want to make money by understanding economy, you need to be a trader, right? So I started with a small account, like Manesh tell us that I call it a beginner luck. When you deposit $100 and then you make like 500 or $1,000 immediately without knowing anything, right? But suddenly you lost. But because after 4 to 5 years as a trader, my goal is different now. I'm not looking to be a rich person. I'm not looking to have a good car or a luxury house or $1 million in my bank account. I have my motto or my slogan in my life, and I always teach this to my student that I want to trade for survival. So trade for survival is not to become rich, but to have a time freedom and money freedom. So if you have that two things of freedom, you will be a happiest person in the world. So my journey has an up and down. I remember that 5 years ago, I deposit quite a huge amount of money, and then I lost all in just, I think, 1 hour. So I'm frustrated. I always tell myself that I'm a stupid person. I'm not a good trader, blah blah and all, you know. But my mentor always said to me that Kaza, that a trader is not someone that understand the market. Traders is someone who has understand the probabilities of the market. You cannot predict the market. You know, you cannot say, okay, now it's buy, now it's sell. You can say it's a probability, you know. So after 5 years, in 2019 or 18, uh, I started to create my own understanding in economic, and then I found something interesting that I always said that economy is like a machine, that it will always come back. If you talk about crisis, it will goes up every 10 to 11 years, right? 1929, then goes to 1946, and then goes to 2008, and then goes to 2010. No, not 2010. Goes to 2019 to COVID, and the life is just like that. It goes up and down. It also economy. It goes up and down. So I guess yeah, every each and every one of us have a different story, but the main goal as a traders at the end of the day to have your time with your family and friends, and to have a happiest life in 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 this world, I guess. Yeah, so that's the story from me.
I totally agree. I thank you very much, all of you, for sharing your experiences. At the end, I believe that even though we have different stories, we have similar standpoints and very similar stuff that we all go through as traders. Now, moving on to our segment number two, growth, mistakes, and mindset. The side of trading that few talk about. Biggest mistakes. I mean, we have already talked about some mistakes we have done. Overconfidence, mainly because of the beginner's luck we were talking about. Growth moments, emotional challenges, because I know that as a traders, we have all spent nights crying after a rough market session. We have all gone through very tough emotional challenges because it's part of the nature of trading itself, right? And we're also going to talk about how mindset is involved in trading and how mindset evolved in our trading journey. And lastly, what we wish that the traders, all traders, understood more about the financial markets. Keeping the same order, could you please start with your Manesh?
Wow, that's a lot of topics. They're all over the place.
I'm sorry, yeah.
No,
I
no.
I
So,
I absolutely love this segment because I think this is the segment that most people don't actually talk about. Like
yeah.
a lot of traders in the space, they rarely talk about these things. They just make, trading look so fancy, so nice. I think
Easy.
there's a reel that is probably going to be posted soon where I spoke about something and I was like, the market doesn't actually care about you. If the market did care about you, it would give to you freely. It would give to you money. But the market rewards us. So you're allowed to make mistakes. You're allowed to grow emotionally. You're allowed to have a change in your mindset. You're allowed to grow. You're allowed to evolve. But one common mistake I would say I personally made while trading was thinking the market was just candlesticks.
Mhm.
I, I from the very beginning, I just thought it was candlesticks, support resistance, bullish flag, bearish flag. Once I get it right, and that's about it. And my turning point became when I realized that the market was bigger than just trading sticks. It was bigger than just the chart. I think that's why most people stay in the gambling cycle. They don't fully understand that the market is more like a community of decisions being made completely by different people. So when you look into the market, you need to come to the market with kind of like a mindset to understand that different people are interacting in this market and you can't dictate the decisions of different people. When you understand that, then you know why the market is probabilistic in nature. and you can't have control over it. So I think that was where my mindset shifted. Then I started to understand that, oh, the bigger players in the game. So I started to pay attention to fundamentals. Then emotionally, what I would say trading does to a person is, I don't know if it's just me, but when you hit that first major brick wall, something in you finds God even deeper. Like you just get so overwhelmed and you don't know who to tell. Because even people around you can't understand you. They can't understand how you feel because they don't do it. So you just need to find, solitude in someone who you believe knows everything. Even if he can't talk to you directly, but you can talk to him. And when my own first major mistake happened, I had to find solitude in God. Like I became closer to God, And if there's one thing I would say I wish people would understand more about the market is, don't come into trading wanting to make profits. It's the first thing everybody does. Or I want to make money, so they start trading. But the problem with trading is the I want to make money mentality keeps you in a loop. But when you come into trading understanding that I have seen something that I believe can be profitable in the long run, and I need to dedicate my time into it, it reduces the mental and psychological stress of wanting to do it fast. So there's this thing I always say, it took you 5 years to get a law degree, but you want to make money from the foreign exchange market in just 2 months. So a lot of people think that when you've been trading for 3-4 years and you're not driving a Lamborghini, you're not driving a Mercedes-Benz, you're not profitable. And just like Kaza said, he's not necessarily saying he doesn't want to make so much money or he's trading just to survive off trading. But when you understand that at the end of the day, the reason why all of us want to make money, we want to go into a business, is for survival. The human mind is built for survival. We want to survive. So if you can just shift, or if traders can just shift their focus from trying to be who they see online to focusing on being who they want to be and understanding that trading can be an edge to help them become who they want to be or what they want to build, it solves half of their problems. Now they know that whatever is happening to them isn't just failure, rather it's a part of their own process and their own life. So I think that's like a major thing for me.
Yes. I maybe this segment I give you the last part, Manesh. So
No, I'll take it. I'll take it.
So I think emotion, because I can talk about emotion is just because it happened that I have a diploma in psychology, and for me as a trader, the reason why, first of all, why I want to become a trader is not because, money is everything, right? People said money can't buy happiness, but with money you can be happy. Am I right?
Yeah.
So if you don't have money, you will not be happy, right? But my question to each and every one of you, how much money that you want in your bank? 1 million, 2 million, 10 million? Even if you see a richest guy in the world, I don't want to mention his name, he's still working. He's still trying to find more money day by day, right? But for me, emotions start when I start trading 11 years ago. It's just because I see my parent. I'm not yet married until now. It's just because I want to take care of my parent. It's just an excuse, actually. I don't have anyone. But yeah, because I want to take care of my parent. I'm the only son in the family, so this is my responsibility. I want to see them, happy. I want to bring them anywhere that they want. I want to buy them whatever they want to wear, what they want to eat, So if I want to achieve that, I need to have financial freedom, and also I need to have a time freedom. Let's say if you have a financial freedom, but you don't have time with your family, it's just a waste of time. That's what we call a waste of time, because you have a lot of money, but you don't have a time for your family. But for me, emotionally, when I'm losing money or I'm making money, the first person that I will speak up and I will talk to is my family. my parent, right? I will tell them, please pray for me. I make a loss today, blah blah and all. And you know what? Until now, my parent, especially my mother, is trading with me. My mother
That's
now
nice.
is 65 years old, and he's making consistently $5 a day.
That's
But
awesome.
it's not like 3 4 years ago he's already stopped trading, right? But I remember that I gave her an account amounting, I think, $100, and she's making money. Why? Because she believed in her son. Because maybe when I start trading before, we are in a Muslim country, people will say, oh, it's haram, it's not, it's a gambling, is blah blah and all, a lot of things. But I don't want to talk about religion much because I'm not a preacher. But in a lot of Muslim country, I want to show to my family, especially my parents, that I'm making money is not like a gambler. We are doing analysis. We are reading chart. We are reading data. Blah blah and all. So when I make my first $100,000, the first things that I use that money is to buy my parent a lot of things. I don't want to mention a lot of things.
Yeah.
I never use that money to my own. I never use that money to buy a Gucci bag, to buy a luxury car whatsoever. I'm still using my old W204 Mercedes. So I will feel happy. My emotion of happy will show when my family smile at me. You know, when your family smile at you, you will feel proud to become a trader. But
Yeah.
if you're making money and you make happy of other people, or you just make money for yourself, at the end of the day, trust me, you will lose everything and you will say to yourself, I'm a stupid trader. So yeah, I think at the end of the day, your emotion is important. Like, I think Manish can agree with me. With your emotion, you can make money or you can lose money. So that's for
From
me. Please I give my mic to Manish after that.
Well, it's good to be last now. I got a lot of talking points and stuff like that. I'm a firm believer, and I could tell you this now. I lost everything in the internet boom because my dream was to make money. Anyone
yeah.
that has dreams of making money are going to lose everything. Today, and after that, my dreams changed after I reinvented myself. My goal was to be financially free before I had kids. So when I do have kids, I now would spend time with them, be their best friend, be there from day one they're born to now. My oldest son is 17 going to college. So I could take
Nice.
them swimming, take them here or there. So I'm there for them. So family is the key, and that's my dream, and that's the reason why I trade and have fun. Um, my son, 17 years old, is trading too, not because that's what he wants to do for his life, but
Mm.
so he could do a profession irrelevant of money. So he gets to do what he
Yeah.
enjoys, but has that financial freedom on the back end. Um, so, you have to have the correct dream, and it can't be money. Um,
Yep.
and the other thing also on that aspect is that you can't change your lifestyle for even no matter how much money you get, exactly what you said, Kaza. You can't change your lifestyle at all. If the moment you change your lifestyle like I did before the internet boom, you're gonna get greedy, and at that point it'll come across into the charts. So you have to stay the same lifestyle no matter what. You can't become materialistic. Growing up in the Western world is known to become materialistic. So my
Yeah.
whole
Yes.
environment is set up this way. And my environment was set up for me to fail because I live in the Western world and grew up in the Western world. And everything is about money, and it can't be. It has to be about family and your goals as a person. Um, so that goes into little Orion says. Um, when you trade, you can't trade like someone else. Your trading plan has to fit your personality. And that's what a lot of traders don't understand, and they need to. They need to sit there and find a trading plan, a style that fits their personality. And until you do, you're not going to win because you're going to feel uncomfortable when it comes to the charts.
True.
And that's one of the things I have to find. Reason why is that, my background is engineering, and then also I've been programming since I was 14 years old. So that's another strike against me as a trader because I think I could take indicators, reprogram them, and create this magical tool that could sit there control the markets. And that was the thing when I was young is as an engineering and a programming background, I thought I could control the markets. And just like Ryan said, you can't control the markets at all. All you could do is put your orders out there and then manage the risk, and that's it. Okay. And one of the biggest problems I had and had to overcome was analysis paralysis.
Mm.
As a technical trader, especially, um, you look at a chart, you start thinking about it. You're like, okay, my first instinct is buy, but then you think about it. You look at that chart more and more and more and more, and you start overthinking. And analysis paralysis is the number one issue most people have, especially technical traders. And that's one thing that I don't do today. 90% of my time is research, back testing and stuff like that and preparation, and only 10% is trading. You should be able to look at a chart. If you've done your research and you really have your trading plan, you should be able to look at a chart within 3 seconds, know if there's an opportunity. If so, you put the order out. If there isn't, you move on. The more you look at that chart, the more you're going to fail, the more you're going to overanalyze and so forth and that. Once your order's out, at that point, you should not even thinking about the profits at all. The sole thing that you should think about is risk. So when I place a trade, I don't think about the profits. I think about managing the trade. My goal for every trade is to get it to free, break even, and then let the markets do its thing. So my job in my business is to put on trades and to manage it to get it to a point it's free and then let the market do its thing. Once the trade is free, I don't have anything to worry about at all. So that's one thing we always talk about with new traders. And the reason why is that new traders, when they come to this industry and they lose, reason why is they keep on looking at their account. They're like, oh, this trade's profitable. Then it goes negative. And then they go
Then
for
they start to
emotional
panic.
trip. Then it goes positive. Then it goes negative. Then they go negative the second time. They exit the trade. Then what happens? Then it goes. Then they're like, oh, let me get in. Then you do, like Ryan said, you start praying to God, right? But you start revenge trading and everything like that. You cannot look at profits at all when you take a trade on. You have to think about risk, 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 risk. Especially if you want to turn that corner from being a retail trader to a professional trader, risk is what matters at the end of the day. You have to manage your risk. If you manage your risk and you get that trade to become free, where your stop is at, where your entry, you got nothing to worry about at all. And that's the key things in trading now. But a lot of people don't talk about it at all. Unfortunately, as Ryan says, you see all these people broadcasting charts, technical charts, saying this, but you don't hear about the psychology of trading, the thought process in trading and everything. And I think that's the great thing about the ValeTalk that we're doing now is that we actually get to talk about the whole thought process that well, putting on a trade, our history behind our thought process, everything going forward, our preparations, everything we get to talk about, which no one really talks about. And that's where I think this forum is great for us to sit there and talk about.
I totally agree. And I believe it is really important to detach from the money in order to become a good trader. You have to stop looking at the money, as you mentioned, detach from the money, detach from the results. The important thing is that you are doing the process correctly. The result is going to be a consequence of doing the process correctly. At the end, you can lose, you can win, But if you are doing things correctly, you don't have to worry about the end result, if it is minus something or plus something. You just have to focus on doing things as you should and as your plan establish yourself to do. Moving on to the last segment, I believe that this last one was really interesting. We touched a bunch of topics, the importance of, as we mentioned, detaching from the money, the importance of seeing this process as long run. As Ryan mentioned, you don't get a degree by studying 6 months on a university, right? You have to be 4 years, 3, 5, 6 years, for example, in medicine. So we have to see financial markets like that in the long run. So considering all of these that we have talked since the first segment to the second, I would like all of us to give our audience a brief advice to our younger selves. I want all of you to go back, close your eyes even, and think of the Manesh of 20 years ago or even 30 years ago, to the Kaza of 11 years ago, to the Rion of 8 years ago. What advice would you give that guy, that beginner? What would you tell him? For example, myself, if I may start, I would actually tell him to control his grief, to detach from the
Mm,
money. That would be the exact same advice I would give him.
mm.
See the view long term, detach from the money, control your grief, and you will be fine. Just keep on the good work. Please, who would like to give their
Let
younger
me
self some
let me
advice?
let me let me go after you.
Please,
I
Ryan.
have I have a ton of advice because I feel like I give advice every day of my life to different people, you know. But if there's one advice that I would give my younger self, it would have been stay stay away. Yeah. I think the advice I would give to my younger self is stay away from people's money. It's that simple. Stay away from people's money. Now, it's not because at the end of the day, people would come and say, "Oh, but we have hedge funds and we have people who manage money." Yes, they do. But why I would say stay away from people's money is you really don't know how good you've built your skill when you're just starting, so you don't have the financial knowledge enough to collect people's money. So managing funds isn't just about you being a trader. It also requires you to have knowledge about risk. Just like Manesh said, what separates the professional traders we see who are hedge fund managers and traders on the Wall Street or people who trade in banks from retail traders who just use their phones and their MetaTrader to trade is one person is more focused on profits. Day traders especially are very focused on profits, retail traders, while professional traders are first focused on risk. So going to take people's money without fully understanding your abilities in being able to manage money is a wrong move. So a lot of times people think since I can trade, I can make profits. That's always the reason why they go to take people's money. Oh, I'm a trader now, I can make profits. So they go to take money to make profits. But money management is, oh, I understand risk management. I understand my ability to manage risk and I understand the markets so I can manage this money. That's the difference. So if there's one advice that I've given myself is don't take people's money, boy. Just trade your $100. Like I did it in 2020 after the COVID crash. I grew 100 USD. Then they used to call me Zaddy for a reason because I used to trade the USD South African rands and that was USD ZAR. So I literally took 100 USD up all the way till about 7,500. And that was how I started to grow my portfolio, But then I got greedy. So I will also take Alfredo's advice. Don't get greedy. I got greedy and people started, people like to see results. When you tell people you're riding a bicycle, they say, you're still falling. The moment they see you do a backflip, they're like, teach me, and then people started offering me 2,000, 3,000 trade for me. And I got greedy because I wanted to be the biggest boy in the whole of town. So yeah, that would be my advice to anybody starting out, that's from my own experience.
Yeah, Manesh, go first.
Oh, yeah, I'm going out of it. Ryan, that's great advice. I love it. It's perfect advice. I went from managing money to stop managing money for that sole reason. And the thing is that if you could average 3-to-1 reward risk ratio, why do you need to manage other people's money? You can manage your own,
Exactly.
have less headaches, not have gray hair and everything. My advice to the younger person of me is number one would be treat trading as a business.
Yeah.
We don't do that. We come to the charts, we throw our money in it, we start to trade. Think of this as if you're starting a business like a Subway, what would you do? First, you'll create a business plan. In the trading world, you need to create a trading plan. And when you create the business plan, you would look at history, other people's businesses and see what works, what doesn't work to create the business plan. That's the same thing in the trading world. You need to look at your strategy and everything, back test it. If your
Yeah.
strategy did not work in the past, there's no probability, high probability it's going to keep on working now.
True.
So you need to create a business plan. The strategy needs to be historically tested to show that it has proven results in the past. So it
Yeah.
can have a high probability to work in the future. Once you have that, then you have something that you can move forward with. And you have to execute that trading plan just like you would execute the business plan. Okay.
True.
Instead of going to the bank and borrowing money, you start off with whatever cash you have. Typically, a bank's not going to lend you money unless you have 20%. So you have to have some money. So take that 20% that you would allocate for a business, put into the market, then you trade with only 20% of that money that you put in there. And you start trading only if historical results produce. And
True.
if you're executing your trading plan, you're not going to have analysis paralysis or anything like I did at all. You're going to execute. And the only way to beat the machines today is to trade with no emotions and to follow your trading plan. Trading is about probabilities, not gambling. That means you have to sit there and trade with no emotions and manage that trade. So my number one advice to me, which I wish I did have and did do, was to treat this as a business, which I didn't. And today it is a full-blown business for me, where, as I mentioned before, 90% is historical back testing, 10% is trading.
Great advice, Manesh and Ryan. Um, is it the toughest question that I have now? If I can tell my younger self, because I'm still young, so I don't know how young that can I tell myself, But if I can travel back to time and see my younger self,
Yeah.
I want to say to him that you need to be patient with the journey, you know. Don't be harsh with the trading because
Yeah.
not every win means you are good and not
True.
every loss mean you are bad,
Means you're bad.
you know.
Love it.
Trading is not a marathon. I'm so sorry. Trading is not, it's a marathon. It's
It's
not a
not a
sprint.
sprint.
Yeah. So give yourself time to grow. Grow of your knowledge, growth of your risk management, and growth of your capital, right? Because when I started trading, I started a bit small for myself. I started with $100. And now, after 11 years, uh, I can say to myself that I cannot trade $100 account. I need to have a bigger account if I want to be a good trader. That's for me.
Yeah.
Why? Because if I traded $100 account, I cannot talk about risk. If I talk about, oh, I want to raise 1% and I want to have a reward ratio of 1 to 1, what can you do with a $1 profit? So for me, I want to start with and I will tell myself, work first, get a good job, get a good salary, make investment in, stock market whatsoever, have a good capital, and then you start trading. That first. The second thing that I want to talk to myself is stop trying to control the market.
Mm-hmm.
As a traders, I can say both of four of us can agree that we always said that I know now is gonna buy, now is gonna sell. You know?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, we cannot control the market, man. Like Manesh said, Ryan said, it's just a probability. We cannot say for a fact that now is sell or now is buy. But because you are not right all the time,
Yeah.
you are here as a trader to make a good decision consistently.
Consistently.
So let go of the idea that every trade must be perfect.
Yeah.
I know maybe four of us or the audience that we have now, they always, do much of analysis. Analysis is good, but if you do a lot of analysis, it's not good for you and your trading account.
Yeah.
Sometimes I see people combining this kind of trading technique, and blah blah and all, and then at the end of the day, one say buy, one say sells, and then suddenly he don't know how to entry the market. So I will tell myself that I cannot control the market. I cannot be the shark in the tank. If I can be a small fish, I will be a small fish that follow a big shark. I cannot be a big shark. I can say to myself that if I die tomorrow, I will not be a big shark. If I die 100 years more, I will not be a big shark because that's not my goal. My goal, like I said, I want to have a freedom. So if money is attached to you, you will not have freedom, right? So I will tell myself that please don't attach to money. If you attach to money so much, you will lose control of yourself. You will lose control of your discipline. You will lose control of your time. You will lose control of everything. We have a lot of case study that we see a trader from a small journey suddenly got a Lamborghini. Suddenly he's not the same people that maybe we met 5 to 10 years ago. So please don't attach to money. I will tell myself that three things. So yeah, at the end of the day, as a trader, you are not a bank. Like Manesh said, you are a businessman.
Yeah.
Sometimes you lose, sometimes you win.
Sometimes you win.
So at the end of the day, be a good trader, have a good emotion, have a good money management, and yeah, I think I can say to myself that kind of things. Hopefully, I can say it, but it's too late now.
It's never
I
too
mean,
late. You
we
gotta
can still
have
apply
fun.
them.
But
Yeah.
may I say one thing? The difference between Manesh and three of us is because he's the only one that not wearing the glasses. You know,
Here,
you
handle
know
your
why?
glasses. Here you go.
You know why is because the three of us is a scalping traders, but he is a swing traders. So we are
He's a position
24/7 looking
trader.
at the chart. He's look at the chart once a week.
No, cause I don't discriminate. I trade everything.
I see. Okay, okay.
Listen,
So
I have a
yeah,
lot of fun, right? That's the key,
Yeah.
is having fun while you're doing this. Otherwise, why
While
yeah.
even
doing
do
it.
it?
My mentor always said to me, "You only die once. You live every day. So have fun with
Yes.
your life.
Have
At
fun.
the end of
Yep.
the day,
That's
if you
true.
lose, still have fun.
Still have fun. I
Yeah.
like it.
So
Totally.
yeah.
And Kaz, I'll wear some glasses for you next time, okay?
Please.
Thank you all for sharing your advice. I believe it is something really helpful for people that are starting out in this business because at the end it is like that. It is business and it has its operational costs that at the beginning will be losses. But yeah, totally, we believe that everyone mentioned really good advices to our audience. I really appreciate all of your time, all of your advices. With everything we have talked and discussed, I established these key takeaways for this first episode of ValeTalks. As the first takeaway is that every trader's journey is different. We all start from a different standpoint. We all go through different stuff, different process, different times. At the end, there are very similarities between everyone's story. We all experience the ups and downs. Sometimes some people bigger, some people smaller than the others. But at the end, every journey is different, so you have to focus on your own journey. Do not focus on other people and other traders' journey. Do not look at social media seeing everyone winning, all traders winning somehow, even though the statistics say that most of them will probably lose in the long run. Focus on yourself and focus on your journey. As a second key takeaway is that lessons are learned by living them. You just mentioned, Casa, it is too late now. Well, it might be too late, but you know that it is too late and you know the advice and you know because you went through it. You lived the lesson that you're giving now. And that's the only way of doing it. You have to make the mistake. You have to screw it up sometimes to learn, and that's okay. And that's part of the process. And you have to like to embrace your mistake, embrace your losses, and go on. Number three, growth comes from mistakes, as I just mentioned. Growth will come from every mistake you take. You just have to focus your mentality on establishing that you will take that mistake and you will take those negative experiences as a teaching lesson. And lastly, mindset and discipline matter more than your strategy. We have a question in our comment section that says, I just started trading. I am lost between all the tools and the charts, and I really don't know from where to begin and how to not be greedy as you advise in the process. What should I perceive? Who would like to answer this question?
I could go.
Let's go, Manesh.
If you look on the internet, there's 1,000 indicators out there and combinations. There's over 1 million combinations. The very first thing I think you should learn is learn how to trade with just pure price action and learn about money management, taking losses and everything. Because once you start adding indicators, even the simple moving average and all that, it really complicates things a lot. So I would trade with simple price action. We're doing some series with Valetax on pure trading with pure price action. We could send you videos on that too. But trade with pure price action, learn money management first. My biggest mistake was thinking technical analysis is my foundation. It can't be. Money management has to be your foundation, and then your technical system built on top of that. So that's my advice to you.
That's a great advice. Totally great. I will also add to focus on the long run, see this as a career, long-term vision, detach from the money, detach from the results. Just stay focused, take the noise out, and follow the path. That would be my advice to that.
Yeah.
So I believe that now we can move on if there's any other question. If not, I believe that that is all for this first episode. Let's see if there's maybe any questions.
I like to make one comment before we conclude.
Please, Manesh.
So I'm probably the longest person that's traded here. So I've got a lot of experience, good and bad. We did something like ValeTalk probably back in 2000. I did this with a place called Big Mike Forum. It was great. It was very effective and everything. After that, no one's done anything like this at all. So I put my hats off to Valetax for creating this ValeTalk series because I think it's the most valuable tool out there for a trader, more than doing technical presentations, technical teachings and stuff like that. Because this is something that no one else is really doing. And I think it's the most valuable thing for beginning traders, intermediate, or any type of retail trader. You have to go through these things in order for you to become a professional trader, because you're going to learn a lot from all of us here. And I think that, I'm glad ValeTalk is created, and I encourage you guys to keep on listening and to send the information to your other friends and traders. The more people you have on there, the more people we're going to influence. And, trading has given me the greatest privilege in life that I get to spend the time with my family. And, that's one of the reasons why I'm still teaching is I want to help retail traders become professional traders and take advantage of this industry where you get the rewards from this industry, but you have a lot of free time to spend with your family. And it could only happen if you understand our journeys. So I really encourage you guys to keep on listening into the Val Talk, and to pass it on to everyone and let this community grow huge.
Amazing, amazing advice. There's a new question actually. This is by Jonathan. It says, there's a general saying to buy the rumor and sell the news. Is this still something relevant today, market? The recent video earning call, but market drop seems to show otherwise.
So since I would say, I think amongst us here, I think is I and Kaza that like fundamentals more. Manesh loves pure technical analysis a lot. So let me try and see if I can answer this question. I think the saying where they say you should buy the rumor and sell the news, it all comes from the idea that there's an economic theory for it. It's the fact that the market is always going to react based on the fact that people can't fully make a decision for themselves. They make that decision based off what other people are saying. I think it's a theory by John Nash where he describes that. Now, the reason why you asked to buy the rumor is when there's a rumor about the market going to crash, it's most likely just fear being put into the market to actually chase people out of the market so that big institutions can finally, take profits. In order for them to take profit, they need a huge amount of liquidity to either exit the market or come into the market. So all of these events basically are just liquidity sourcing. So when they say you should buy the rumor, it's that don't necessarily listen to everything that is being said in the market. And when they say sell the news, it means don't stay in the market too long when there's a high impact news coming. So learn to leave the market and learn to not enter into the market. It's not necessarily, it's not a literal term. It's just like I would say it's like an idiom. Yeah. So don't run into the market because people are buying, and don't sell the market because people are selling. That's basically it. So it still applies till date. When we have a high impact news coming, a lot of people start to run out of their positions. They start to run out of their positions because they're scared, the uncertainties, they don't know, and all those kind of things. And sometimes again, when people just have the slightest idea, probably, or maybe retail sales were good, they automatically start to create rumors that job reports is definitely higher since more people were buying things, and then people start to buy the rumor. But in essence, it's don't try to run into the market and don't try to leave the market too early. Don't
Yeah.
jump into the market too early. So that's just what it is.
I believe it is also some type of be cautious of bubbles,
Yeah,
speculative
yeah,
bubbles.
true.
When everything is talking about something, it probably is gonna end up in a bubble, and you should watch out because as Manesh, went through the dot-com bubble, and you can see how badly things can go, right? So yeah, I believe it is a saying that also comes directly from the speculative bubbles in financial markets. But yeah, totally agree.
One other quote I'll give you guys is follow the crowd and you'll lose.
Hmm.
Fact.
Right. So one quote for another quote. And I'll tell
Totally.
you this now. I was working in Wall Street and creating machines that did 40,000 trades per second. We study human behavior, and we know that we could get you to go in one direction. And when you're buying, just remember one thing. When you're buying, someone's selling. Just remember that.
Yep.
Yep.
I believe that with that, we can end this first episode of ValeTalks about our journey, episode number one. As we mentioned, new episodes will be coming. Very, very interesting topics. Actually, we have another question before we end. How do you improve your strategy after losses?
Uh, I will
Hmm.
answer that question because
Sure, Kaza.
the question actually come from my student. So yes, how do you what is the question again? The question is losing right now.
Don't worry, it
So
is, yeah.
how do you improve
Mhm.
your strategy? Actually, I will not I don't call it I will not improve my strategy because I always believe that the strategy that I created is good enough for me, and I think it's good enough for everyone that will understand the strategy. But when I lost, what ever that I lost, I will try to cover it up, not immediately, you know. So when I lost, I will stop trading, I will close my MT5, I will close my, my laptop or PC or whatsoever. I will drove my car and go somewhere else. Just because when you're starting to lose, your emotion of greed will come. You know, the devil will come to your ears and say, "Hey, Kaza, please enter more, enter more." You know, you will start to have a revenge trading. So I don't want to have a revenge trading in my trade. I don't want to lose all my money. If I lost maybe 10% of the capital, I will stop and I will trade tomorrow. So uh, the problem is nowadays traders is when they lost with this strategy, they will try to change another strategy, right? So we have how many? I think 32 billion people right now, or 3 billion people in the world, and maybe we have a ton of trading gurus right now. So I guess all trading gurus or master or whatsoever we call ourselves, we are not wrong. Whatever that they teach you is not wrong. The wrong things is when you learn and you didn't understand whatever that your gurus teach you, you know, and then you try this strategy and you make mistake, and then you say, oh, this guru is not good and I want to find another guru, you know. So my advice to you is to stick with one strategy. If you lose with that strategy, it's not because of that strategy, but just because of one, maybe of your capital lack. Second is because maybe of your risk management, and third because of your emotion. No, so try to understand more of that strategy. Try to have a lot more understanding about the risk management, money management, and then from that way you can become a great trader. I think I hope that I answered your question, uh, Mr. Adib. Thank you.
At the
Yeah, and
end,
I
I
think
believe.
Kaza's exactly correct. You've got to walk away. You have to become neutral completely. And my thing to you is, why did you lose? You've got to find that answer. And you can only
Yep.
do it when you're non-emotional. Most people
Yep.
lose, but they never determine why they lost and they keep on moving forward. You can't
Yes.
become wiser unless you know why you lost. So you have to know why you lost.
Totally agreed.
Yep. Yep. I agree with you. So
Yeah, exactly right.
please.
I believe that you mentioned very good points. You have to accept the losses. A strategy will have losses. So the fact that you got one, two, or even four losses in a row does not mean that the strategy does not work. It can be just
Yeah.
statistics, right? But well, I
Yes.
believe that we can wrap it up. I'm really thankful that we are able to create this space for our clients, for our traders. I am extremely happy to be part of this project, and I really appreciate all of your time, Manesh, Casa, Ryan. You are great traders, but above that, you're great human beings and great people. And people feel that, you know, you can feel that from other people. So it is extremely grateful to be part of this project with persons and with people like you. Thank you very much, and we'll see all of you in the next episodes of ValeTalks. Thank you and goodbye, all.
Bye bye.